Why then, you might say, can I not send one of my employees to a work doctor on the NHS? That's because when the NHS was formed, it was felt that factory doctors should be looked after by their own, paid for by their own employers, and hence you can't see a doctor for work on the NHS. That might change in the future, but not at the moment. What I wanted to talk about today, just go over here. It's not working. Do that one now. What I hope you'll find out in the next 20 to 30 minutes is why we feel the importance of resilience within your business, especially aimed at the SME market. What health issues may be facing your business, whether or not you realise it, you may not. And more importantly, what we suggest may be options for what you can do about it. My very first day at medical school, I was told that probably the only bit of self-awareness or self-education, and they came out with the 4 Ds. They said there's 4 Ds, young doctors to be. You either delegate, delay, drop, and finally you do it. As a completer finisher, I was completely appalled at this kind of image, and it was a real shock. Actually, I understood what they were meaning. In our future careers as doctors, there was going to be an incredible lot of demands in short periods of time. But this is the slide that I wish that they had shown us, because I think it's one of the most helpful slides to help you focus on your business. They use this kind of message in sport, and the message is essentially the same. Where you want to be is keeping your workforce at maximum performance. Interestingly, maximum performance can shift at different times depending on what people are going through within their own lives and what the issues are. And I'll touch on some of the issues in a minute. We all know that when we haven't got enough to do, it can take us a long time, it can be quite demoralising, and can take us much longer. What is interesting though is the slide off down to poor performance. It's not a steady curve. Often it's quite a rapid decrease in performance, where you might see somebody working quite effectively will more or less quite quickly decompensate if you don't step in and do something about it. Mental health issues are more common than you think. So within this exhibition centre, there's 1 in 6 people right now experience anxiety, depression, or feeling under unmanageable stress. Out of all of us here, 1 in 4 of us in a year will experience a mental health problem of some description. And finally, on this statistic, 14 hours is the average amount of time a person spends worrying. I think you can debate that. I'm probably on the end further up, but you might have your own feeling about where you sit. And also, I think that will vary from where you are in your life and other life events. So are small businesses more likely to be at risk at burnout? I'm not going to read all the things on this slide. I think you will see them and you will understand them. You will know the people that sit and work through some or all of their lunch break. You will know how many perhaps work extra hours due to heavy workload. The flexibility within the workplace for parents and childcare is an issue most employers face. 67% of employees have gone into work feeling unwell in the last 3 months. We know also that musculoskeletal conditions are one of the main causes of days off work. Again, we tend to do the same tasks, we tend to sit the same way, we hold the phone the same way, we have our desk set up the same way, we forget about how to set it up correctly. It is absolutely incredible what difference your posture and your way of working can make, and how many problems people can have which can be very simply prevented if they're thought about in advance. We have some recent research which has come out with the following figures. Are they readable to those of you at the back? Effectively, 2/3 of employees support colleagues who experience back pain problems, but we know that the impact on business can be 39% reduced productivity, morale and attendance. Everyone, I think, can focus on sickness absence. It's fairly obvious when one of your employees is not here. Somebody else has to step in and cover. But the things that you also need to just take account of is being at work when you're unwell. And we believe that this could account for as much, if not more, loss of productivity than sickness absence itself. We've all seen the people that struggle in, we've probably all done it ourselves. It's been speculated that presenteeism, which is the name we give to this, can cost up to 15 billion a year compared to 8 billion for absenteeism. I think things may have become worse with the recession. There are more people coming ill into work who are not well. In fact, fitness for work can be more of an issue than people that are off sick in the current climate. I'm guessing that there's quite a range of workforces here, from small to medium, but the issues that surround the businesses, the health issues, are the same for all of us. Diabetes, there's 3.2 million people diagnosed with diabetes in the UK, and it takes up 10% of the NHS budget. Obesity, a third of obese adults in England have a limiting long-term illness, and it reduces our life expectancy by 3 years. So, we're all getting a bit older, and a bit heavier, and a bit poorly, so we need to look after ourselves, and starting now is a good place to start. We thought it might be helpful to present a risk profile of a business. This is an actual risk profile, and what we have found is that it tends not to vary between companies no matter of what sector that you are in. There can be some differences in musculoskeletal diseases and psychological depending on the physical aspect of the work undertaken, but in general the risk profiles are pretty much the same. Again, I'm not going to talk you through them all, I'll just pick out a few things. You'll see how high the psychological factor component is. A fair number of employees at high risk. You'll see from the lifestyle risk factors, I'll point out the level of alcohol consumption. And I won't go past on the sleep slide without mentioning the importance of sleep and sleep hygiene. It directly impacts on performance at work. Then looking at the sources of stress, this links in with the performance curve that I tried to give to you. Basically, as people's pressures increase, their performance decreases, and these are the types of factors that you find. Shifts, irregular hours, workload, feeling abused, finding communication difficult, or working many more hours. Currently, also in the current financial climate, you can't ignore personal financial concerns. So really the focus of today was to have a think about what you could do about it. Our suggestions are to start small, think of small strategies and steps. The focus is not just about resilience, it's on all the productivity and affecting the health and well-being of your workforce. One example I could suggest, because you may want to start off by maximising what is already available, the Public Health England website has some excellent focuses on them at the current time, where companies can join in their companies and corporate responsibility charters. You can sign up. I think at the moment that they are focusing on food issues, health and well-being, lifestyle factors and exercise. There's also slides there about cancer. You can sign up and then you can get some peer support from other companies. Our suggestion is that you start thinking about this before you even take people on. You can try to promote and prevent such a level of presenteeism and ill health. Simple strategies can include fitness questions within your one-to-one performance reviews. Asking about general health and well-being in a sensitive manner can be very helpful. And don't forget simple things. We've mentioned musculoskeletal conditions and how much they can impact. The setting up of your workstation, as basic as that, can have a huge impact on your health. We suggest perhaps thinking about picking one issue to tackle, whether it be sleep hygiene, stop smoking. There is a wealth of information already available out there on the NHS. I thought I would just finish with telling you about two of my favourite health interventions that employees gave me the most positive feedback. The first was in the workplace factory. Men's health is a big issue. Women have a lot of health input. We are exposed a lot more in the media. As the ladies in the audience will know, getting the men in their lives to go to the, or gentlemen, to go to the doctor is quite an uphill battle sometimes. Men's health tends to be ignored. The Men's Health Forum has produced some excellent leaflets that are basically like an engineering manual. They're clear, they're easy to read, and they're like a car maintenance handbook. If you handle men's health issues with humour and sensitivity, they can have a very productive day. The second health intervention that I particularly enjoyed being a part of is a very simple one. And it was basically in a small workplace that was far removed from basically anywhere. It was out of town. There was nowhere for employees to go for their lunchtime. They tended to go from looking at their screens to flicking on their phones and their iPads in the restroom. So they set up a walking group, which sounds quite simple, but actually there was a health walking group where it just went out for a simple healthy walk once a week. It wasn't very engaging surroundings, but they made the best of what they had, and the health benefits were found not just in terms of their health and well-being, but in terms of building relationships throughout the workforce. And that's why I suggest starting simple is a place to start. Start with what is already out there and just build on step from step, because presenteeism and absenteeism will be one of your major SME factors to take into account when you're building resilience within your business. Thank you.